crafters, the ultimate year-end, super detailed daily makeup tutorial for complete beginners is here. For those who are new to makeup, watching those 1 or 2 minute makeup tutorial videos won't help you achieve the same results. That's because for beginners, the order of application, tools, techniques, and products are all very important. So today's video is a very detailed follow-along tutorial. I've organized details for you, so this video will be long. Even beginners can achieve pro-level makeup by following along. Today, I'll use my favorite products from the past year, as requested by fans. It's all green and ad-free, so watch with peace of mind. I've selected 2-3 options per product to avoid ad-like appearances. We'll start after washing your face. Wait a minute to see if your face feels dry. If so, apply moisturizer, massage, then wipe off. Then start your skincare routine. My face hasn't felt dry, so I can go straight to skincare. For toner, I switched to a cream spray after returning to the dry Northeast. In winter, I still apply makeup after spraying, spray primer directly after washing. If different brands of the same type of product were advertisements, they wouldn't appear together in the same video. Since this is a very detailed follow-along tutorial, we'll start right after washing your face. Don't rush to apply your skincare products just yet. Wait 1 to 2 minutes to see if your face feels dry or looks pale. If it does, apply a thick layer of moisturizer and massage it in for 3 to 5 minutes, then wipe it off with a wet tissue. After that, you can start your skincare routine. My face hasn't felt dry or looked pale since I washed it, so I can go straight to skincare. As for the toner, I was using this one for a while, but after returning to the Northeast, it got really dry, so I switched back to this cream spray. In winter, after spraying this, I still apply a layer of makeup. The primer can be sprayed directly on your face right after washing it. After dividing. For massage and absorption makeup pre-cream, I recommend these two. I have used up the Red Globe one, and it is almost finished. Recently, I have been using the RC one a lot. You know, I did some skincare some time ago. This one is more suitable for min. There is no trick for this one. You just apply it directly on your face and massage it to absorb it. For example, I will apply a stick of this Essence stick around my eyes before and after applying cream. I use this stick because there are many wrinkles around my eyes. If I wear makeup for a long time, it will cause the makeup to stick. But if you apply eye cream, it will make your entire base makeup very loose and become powdery and mottled, so I will use this. In fact, it is also a skincare product. Before applying makeup, you can just massage it with your fingers to absorb it. You need to ensure that before applying foundation and concealer, your face is in a slightly tacky state. This way, your base makeup will adhere better to your skin. After that, it's sunscreen. However, I usually don't apply sunscreen when I do my makeup in winter, but because of my skin lately, I've been applying sunscreen every day. For sunscreen, I have these 2 options. This one is something I've liked using for a while, but due to brand issues, I haven't used it recently. The Sprouting Thyme sunscreen is one I recommended to you a few days ago. It's a purely physical sunscreen, focusing on being gentle, but you all know the feeling of using physical sunscreens. The reason I recommend this one is that it really breaks my stereotype of physical sunscreens. It goes on the skin without any issues. You can apply it directly to your face like this, without worrying about it clashing with your base makeup or causing any pilling. If your base makeup is clumping or pilling, just apply it directly onto your face like this. For beginners applying sunscreen, I suggest you apply it in one direction like this, spreading it out flat without rubbing in circles. I'm really worried that if your technique is off, it could cause the previous primer to pill. Even though the products are designed not to pill, it really does depend on your application method. It's best to spread it out like this. Now let's move on to the base makeup. If you have dark circles or dull spots like I do, we need to cover those up before applying foundation. As someone with dry skin in the fall and winter, these 2 concealers are my absolute favorites. And this one is my summer favorite. If you have oily skin, you can go straight for this Maoge Pink Concealer, which I've used so much that it's almost gone. You should know that if a beauty blogger has used a concealer down to the bottom, it must be something special. This one is really moisturizing. The texture is a bit like the creamy form of high iron that we eat. So for this type of product, you need to activate it by swirling it around and then apply it to the back of your hand. Then we use the brush to dip it and apply it evenly on the back of your hand until it becomes translucent. Keep a social distance from the mirror. You can see the position of the dark circles. Use the brush to gently apply it on the concealer. You really shouldn't apply too much pressure. Just be gentle, as if the brush is so light on your face that you can't even feel it, like a feather. Remember, when it comes to concealer, it's all about applying in small amounts multiple times. Even if the first layer doesn't fully cover, you can always dip again and apply more. Just don't slather the concealer all over your face at once. You see, this is almost the same. In fact, for a deeper one like this, you can do it like this. You can't see it after it's stretched straight. Well, I don't need to say much about the HeyQ concealer. I've recommended it countless times. Although it's not as moisturizing as the Maoge Pink one, its coverage is really impressive. You can see that I've used it to cover larger spots and acne marks on my face. My skin tone is between a light yellow and a slightly darker yellow, and I use a deeper shade to cover the acne marks and spots. Just go ahead and apply it directly to the areas you want to conceal. Look at me, I have a lot of acne scars down there. After putting them on, we can directly use this small air cushion powder puff to pat them away. I have also recommended this powder puff from Danmu to you. For beginners, it does not require any technique. You can just pat it away like this. Let me show you a picture. See? It's covered like this. There are also acne marks here, which are basically covered. Before applying foundation, these flat blemishes on our face are almost dealt with. Then I also thought of one thing. Many novices will ask me how good the foundation is when I use it. Can it cover spots? Can it cover acne marks? In fact, this is a basic misunderstanding. Foundation is used to adjust your skin tone. You just need to see if it adheres well to your skin, looks natural, and matches your skin tone. Just focus on those points. For any major blemishes on your face, you still need to use concealer like I showed you earlier. The foundations I'm recommending this time are all favorites for fall and winter, and it was really hard to choose. I picked out 4 products, 1 cream foundation and 3 liquid foundations. Since I have dry skin, all the foundation products I'm recommending are favorites for dry skin. First up is this ultra dense cream foundation, which has a texture similar to that of a moisturizer. You see, the foundation that I currently like the most among all the ones I've used is the one that you can easily blend with your fingers on the back of your hand. It has great spreadability and hydration. The 2 I mentioned are RC and Axi. Both give a creamy skin look when applied. Recently, I've been using Axi more, mainly because it focuses on pure makeup, which is great for the skin. The other one is Laura's foundation, which offers a more translucent finish compared to the other 2. But the concealing power is relatively weaker. If you usually wear a natural look, it will look better with this. So I still use this one in today's video. Let's squeeze it on the back of the hand first. About 1 pump is enough. I usually use this. The specific ductility is quite good. Then we take the foundation brush and apply it evenly on the back of the hand, but don't apply it too thickly. After applying, if you have more white in the middle of your face like me, we will avoid the dark circles and spots that we just covered. We start from the middle of the face and apply it backwards. You can see that it is thin around the face. Have you noticed that my eyes and face are heavier now? Because I actually recorded this video for you in 2 days. When I was recording the base makeup yesterday, it suddenly got dark, and the light was very bad. I thought about re-recording it for you today. As a result, I particularly liked a little dog of a pet blogger I followed in the morning, and then he went to Wangxing and cried to me. I felt so uncomfortable that I was out of breath from crying. It's just that I also have a dog myself. Now let's get back to the main topic. For the makeup sponge, I'm using a waist-shaped one. I also want to point out that when I demonstrate applying makeup, I start with half of my face. I recommend that beginners apply makeup in sections, like doing one side of the face, then the other side, and then the forehead. As for the makeup sponge, since they come in various shapes now, I recommend getting one that doesn't need to be dampened. Many beginners struggle with getting the right level of dampness for the sponge, so it's better to just buy one that you can use directly on your face without wetting it. And when you're dabbing, remember not to touch the areas where we just concealed. Look at it this way. After pressing down, lift your fingers up and pat vertically. Make sure there is no slippage or friction. Just tap vertically, and do the same for your nose. Start by tapping the center of your face. And after that, use the leftover powder on the sponge to tap around the edges of your face. Now, regarding cushion foundations, I want to share my favorites with you. I love using these 2. One is Color Sugar and the other is from the R series. Let me show you on the back of my hand. First, I'll apply Color Sugar on my hand. It gives a subtle, creamy skin glow. You can see that its coverage and opacity are quite strong. Now let me show you the makeup effect of Axi, which is really sheer and transparent. You can see the comparison, right? It also has a stronger dewy finish than Color Sugar. As for skin types, I think Color Sugar works well for combination dry skin, and combination oily skin. However, for RC, if your skin is a bit oily, you definitely need to set it well. So after applying the foundation, we don't go straight to setting it. If, like me, you have noticeable tear troughs and hollows in your face, we should highlight first and then conceal. It's important to remember this order. Highlight first, then conceal. For highlighting, we have 2 products, one from Makeup Forever and one from Red Earth. The Makeup Forever one gives a brighter and more translucent finish on the skin. Let's take a look at it on the back of my hand. See, when you spread it out, you can really notice that the glow from Makeup Forever is stronger. The Red Earth one has a slightly more matte finish, and it also offers better coverage than Makeup Forever. I actually forgot to bring my highlighting product back. I thought I had packed it, but I didn't. You can clearly see that the glow from Makeup Forever is much stronger. When highlighting, you should maintain a proper angle with the mirror. At this time, if you lower your head slightly, you can see the starting point and end point of the tear trough. Then you can give it draw vertically from the inner corner of the tear trough to the area around the nostrils, connecting it like this. This is the area we need to highlight. Next, for the hollows around the nose. Start from the beginning of the nasolabial fold. Draw to the midpoint. Then follow the curve of the nostrils to create a semicircle that goes to this point. Remember to keep your mouth closed while highlighting the area where the cheekbone protrudes, creating a nice arc. After we've drawn that, use this small makeup sponge to gently tap and blend it out vertically. You can see that after highlighting, this side of the face looks much brighter than the other side. However, you'll notice that your tear troughs and nasolabial folds are still visible, so after highlighting, we still need to conceal those areas. For the tear troughs and nasolabial folds, I'll be using the same product. Dip your fingers in circles and spread it evenly on the back of your hand. Then continue to use a brush to apply it in the same way. See how it blends into a semi-transparent color? This color is clearly lighter than the one here. At this point, maintain a social distance. from the mirror and slightly lower your head to see the area of the tear troughs, then apply it precisely on top of the tear troughs. Just remember to apply a small amount and multiple times. Even if you can't fill it up this time, you can just apply it again. Also, remember to use a clean technique. You see, I fold it up little by little. Don't think it's troublesome or anything, because concealer is a delicate job. If you don't have time, I think everyone has some small flaws. So there's no need to keep it so perfect. So you just need to touch up any imperfections a bit. There will definitely be some minor flaws. The same goes for the nasolabial folds. When you look in the mirror, check where it looks dark and use the highlighting and concealing products to brighten those areas. Because, a lot of tutorials might say, highlight this area, highlight that area, but the truth is, everyone's features are different. So after you apply your foundation, just look at where your face looks dark and highlight those areas to brighten them up. The area is pretty much the same, it just makes it less obvious where the hollows are. Oh, my voice, actually, I'm quite satisfied with how I've concealed my nasolabial folds and tear troughs up to here. You can see the comparison between both sides of my face. Now, after concealing and highlighting, we shouldn't rush to set our makeup. First, let's use a matte highlighter to set the areas we just highlighted and concealed. Speaking of matte highlighters, there are really a lot of them, so I've picked two that I often use. One is the shade 302 from Jiaosei, and the other is the Flower Boy Bright Snow. The difference between these two is that you can see just by looking at the colors that Bright Snow is definitely brighter than 302. Thicker, then 302 has stronger coverage and hiding power than Swan Snow White. This actually depends on your makeup of the day. If you need a brighter highlight, you can use Smallpox White Snow. If you have daily makeup, you can use 302. Today, I will use 302 to demonstrate to you. We can use a denser slanted brush and dip it into the matte highlighter. Don't apply it on your face after dipping it. Rub it a little on the mirror. After rubbing, poke it on from the place with the least wrinkles at the end of the eye. Did you see that? Don't sweep it. Just gently rub it on like this. Once I've rubbed it on here, I feel like my powder is almost invisible. Then I'll dip again, blend the powder, and continue to apply it. Here, we also rub it upwards from just below the nasolabial folds. But after we set those little details with the brush, you can use a small puff to pick up some powder. This powder should also be rubbed on the small mirror first. Now we can set the areas we just highlighted on our face. As you can see, this side looks much fuller and smoother than the other side. Now, I'll just touch up this side of my face. After highlighting, we can proceed to set the entire face. For setting, there are two products I often use. This one is from Laura, and it won't change the colour of your foundation at all. I use it quite a bit for my everyday makeup looks. And this is the Purple Loose Powder from Huaxizi. Since I have yellow undertones, if I stay up late, my face tends to look quite yellow the next day. The purple color can really help neutralize that yellow tone, so I use it to set my makeup. But since my foundation looks pretty good today, I'll still demonstrate using Laura's setting powder for you. This one doesn't come with a puff when you open it, so you'll need to get one yourself. After that, we take some powder. Mine was a bit bad because I knocked it. You can see that the powder is not evenly distributed on the powder puff, so you have to knead the powder first and apply it all over the powder cloth. Blend it evenly, but actually you can see that after blending the powder still isn't very even, so you need to work it into the back of your hand to smooth it out. Blend it a bit more, and at this point we can press to set the makeup. When you press it on, you can see it gives a semi-matte finish on the skin, but it really doesn't change the color of my foundation at all. It won't look overly white like some powders do when applied. When you set it on the eyelids, you might notice some foundation settling into the lines there. So first, use a small puff to tap out those lines, and then you can set it with the foundation. After that, we can move on to drawing the eyebrows. Before we start, let's use an eyebrow brush to comb through the brows, because there might be some leftover foundation from earlier that has built up in your eyebrows. So just give them a little brush. If you're a beginner and having trouble drawing your eyebrows, I suggest starting with eyebrow powder to fill in the color, and then using an eyebrow pencil to enhance the hair flow. This eyebrow powder I have is from Shiseido, and I just bought a new one from Peony because I finished my old one. When using eyebrow powder, you can actually use something like this. This larger eyebrow powder brush has some good support, see? So when you draw, you won't feel like you're drawing on the eyebrows with a lack of solidity. This brush is from Beidou, and it's quite useful. You just fill in the colour from the back half of the eyebrow like this, and with this large brush, the colouring is particularly fast. Then you use the excess powder to lightly brush over the front of the eyebrows, and separately draw out the tail of the eyebrow. Make sure the tail of the eyebrow is drawn higher than the front, not lower. Next, when you draw the hair strokes, you can use this kind of flat tip tool, similar to the tip of a chisel-shaped eyebrow pencil, see, to fill in the hair strokes. It's not recommended for beginners to use a cylindrical pencil tip to draw hair strokes, because when you draw with that round tip on your eyebrows, it just becomes a smooth round line, unlike this flat one, which draws straight lines. This flat type is more suitable for beginners to draw hair strokes. Start from the lower part of the front of your eyebrow, like this, Don't fill upwards. Just draw freely to fill in the hollow areas. If your entire eyebrow shape, like mine, is more of a flat face, you can add a slight curve here, but don't draw it too high. Drawing it too high can make you look a bit old and fierce. This way is fine. Next is contouring. For contouring, I use these two palettes. One is the Kaleidoscope, and the other is Juduo. Those who follow me know that for everyday use, I use Juduo for contouring. For the Kaleidoscope, I use it when I need a more three-dimensional makeup look, but for demonstration purposes, I'll use Juduo, as it's actually more suitable for beginners. So we'll use this one. For the nose shadow color, when it comes to brushes for contouring the nose, I actually recommend beginners to buy this kind of flat-headed semi-fan shaped brush. Mine has some ink on it. After picking up the powder, don't apply it directly to the face. First, blend the powder evenly, then slightly tilt your head back. You should be able to see the natural shadowed indentation between your eye socket and nasal bone. That's where you should place the first stroke. See that? Then draw upwards like this, following the shape to contour the tip of the nose. Here, if you slightly lower your head, you can see there's a natural small V. Use the brush to outline this small V. After outlining it, you can draw a figure 8 shape over the small V, which is like creating a diamond pattern on the tip of your nose. Once you've done that, use the remaining powder on the brush to connect the tip of the nose with the bridge. After contouring the nose, always remember to highlight. Dip into a matte highlighter for the tip of the nose, and you can brighten the bridge of the nose horizontally here. Just add a little. Starting from the bridge. Next is a step many beginners forget. We need to highlight the inner corners of the eyes with the correct eye highlighter. This brush is a mechanical brush, I forgot to mention it to you. Look at the eye socket here. Draw a line, and as for contouring, I won't go into detail here. You can specifically watch my pinned contouring video, which explains it in great detail. Then we'll just draw here directly, using this angled brush to dip into the contour shade. After applying, remember to blend the powder a bit, and then gently sweep it back from the hairline on the forehead. You see, you can barely notice that this color here is darker than this area, and this way, the turning points of your face are defined. Then we continue to contour the cheekbones like this. Sweep forward, from the back, parallel to the jawline, to shape the cheekbones. For the jawline here, you're definitely not lacking here. It's below this area. Along this line, see, sweep a line from below like this. Then, slowly bring the powder upwards, the overall facial contour. After contouring, you can continue to dip into this matte highlighter. Brighten up the chin a bit more, and also this area on the forehead. I usually brighten it up a bit when doing makeup. Looking at it this way, the entire face becomes much more three-dimensional. As for eyeshadow, I still recommend using earth tones or these low saturation colors. You shouldn't choose too many colors. Don't go for a palette with a dozen colors. Just a few basic colors are enough. Generally, these low saturation colors are unlikely to go wrong. For demonstration, I'll use this small piece to show you. Those who have watched my live streams know that this eyeshadow only costs a few dollars, but its texture is excellent. So it's really suitable for beginners to practice with. First, dip into this light color. Don't apply it directly to the face. Yet, first blend the powder. Apply it to both the upper and lower eyelids. This brush is the N26 from Mei-Nu Lang. After sweeping, use the excess powder on the brush to lightly bring it upwards at the outer corner of the eye. This way, once the shadow is drawn, it will make this area of your eye stand out. You see, it looks more three-dimensional. Next, use a smaller brush to dip into this deepening color, and after dipping, blend the powder as well. Then, deepen the crease area. Here, and similarly, we need to deepen the lower eyelid area a bit. Next, we can use this sickle-shaped blade brush to dip into the dark color, and also blend it a bit. Then we draw forward, from the back half of the lower outer corner. After drawing, you can use the leftover powder on the brush to deepen the under eye area. Here, dip into a matte highlighter to brighten the under eye area. Additionally, let me mention, many beginners say that when using an eyelash curler, it's easy to pinch the eyelid or skin, which is very painful. You actually need to pay attention to whether the shape of your eyelash curler matches your eye shape. For example, for us Asians, our eye shape tends to be more elongated, so you can use one like this. See how its curve is relatively gentle to curl your lashes? Here, the one with a very high arch is actually suitable for Westerners, or those with rounder eye shapes to curl their lashes. My eyes are obviously elongated, so I use the one with a gentler curve to curl my lashes. You see, comparing this side without curling and this side with curling, so before applying mascara, you must ensure that you have curled your lashes. I was halfway through applying mascara when I realized I wasn't recording. Here, I need to mention that if you want your lashes to stay curled all day, you should first use a lash primer to set them. As for lash primer, I've recommended this one many times. Just follow the direction of your lash growth and brush vertically in the middle. If the lashes on both sides grow at an angle, then brush them in the direction of that angle. Actually, once we've applied the lash primer, the length is sufficient for everyday wear. But if you want your lashes to be even curlier and thicker, then apply another layer of mascara, and don't forget to brush the lashes here as well. Next, for blush, I think there are too many colors to choose from, so I recommend specific ones based on the makeup look. However, I usually use these two colors. One is Knitted Bear and the other is Laura's Frisco. I use them to sweep upwards from the highest point of the cheekbones, which helps create a slimming effect on the face. Today, let's demonstrate with the Knitted Bear. After dipping the brush, blend the powder and find the highest point of the cheekbones. Start from here and gently rub upwards like this. You see, after applying it this way, it gives a very natural effect. Then, I will choose a low saturation color that matches the makeup of the day, use a slightly flat tongue brush to pick up the color, and apply it roughly in the middle under the eyes, connecting to the cheekbones, but do not go beyond directly below the pupil inward, and do not go below the position of the nostrils. Just gently press it on like this, don't sweep it. For beginners, if you sweep, it's easy to mess up your base makeup. As for lipstick, I mostly use low saturation colors. I'm not sure if you want to see more lipstick recommendations. If many of you are interested, I will specifically make a video sharing lipstick colors. Basically, the lipstick should also match your overall makeup look. For example, since my natural lip color is quite dark, I would first use a nude color as a base. Next, for the layered color, you just need to remember that as long as it matches the tone of your blush, it won't go wrong. Start deepening from the center and gradually transition towards the edges of your lips. Alright, that's about it for this detailed tutorial video. I've basically covered all the products, techniques, and tools you need. When practicing as a beginner, make sure to watch one step, pause, and then practice along, then watch the next step, pause, and practice again. This way, you'll improve faster. Okay, that's it for today's video.